Now I sit down to start this video, I open my phone to show y'all the arts and crafts projects that we're going to be talking about today. And I see Margot Robbie strutting down the street with a Delara bag, the first Delara bag that they have ever made. And mind you, it is hanging wide open. This bag is wide open, falling out. This is just, effortless marketing. We're not going to ooze over all of this stuff and forget that there is problematic things in high fashion, but let me just say, you know the way that Jacob Elordi just struts his stuff for Bottega and it's just absolutely iconic? Margot Robbie is now doing the same thing for Delara. Look at it. It's just hanging. She's just walking around hanging it wide open. That's such a statement. It's so planned.
Yeah.
It's so purposeful.
I love it.
And it works. It's so good.
I love it.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, come with me. Welcome back to the channel, fam. Let's just take a moment. Let's look at my nails. Look how cool these nails are. I went back to my nail tech that I haven't seen in like 6 months. Eats every single time. My hands, I want more jewelry, more bangles. I love to have stuff like on my hands. I feel like nails are very akin to jewelry when it comes to decorating your hands. So, oh, these are so good. Today's video is going to be just this brain dump of all of the arts and crafts that I want to be doing and starting, and maybe a little bit of me getting some of those things started. I'm very interested in getting into the world of upcycling when it comes to sewing, but just using other means to change clothing, to customize things. There's so many of them that I want to do. I have so many ideas, and I think I'm really starting to understand what my taste is when it comes to fashion, and especially when it comes to thrifting and just kind of being in the secondhand space, looking at things and being like, oh, I can turn this into this, or this is actually valuable, whereas this is just going to deteriorate in another 3 wears, whatever. Point being, I have started to really head the direction of natural fibers as much as possible. And if I am not buying natural fibers when it comes to the thrift, I want it to be something that's going to have this uniqueness to it, this quality to it, something that really stands out, and it just doesn't matter if it's polyester or acrylic or whatever. And I think that that's actually really going to come from, like I said, the customization of these things. So first idea is this sweater, and I'll put all of my Pinterest pics here so you can see what I'm thinking of. But I really want to experiment with distressing sweaters, but adding things like beading, grommets, embroidery, things to it that make it special, the layers of maybe lace or other fabrics, and really getting into customizing in that way. So that's my first craft. And I do think that the first one that I make is probably going to be terrible. I think maybe the first couple iterations are not going to be anything impressive that I would sell. There's this one artist on Instagram that I love so much. I think she just goes by Tata. And then she also has, of course, a wonderful Pinterest page, a great Etsy store. She upcycles sweaters in just the most incredible way. This one is one where she did kind of like a 3D beetle using, I think, a fabric paint, hot glue, and embroidery floss or just yarn to create these 3D beetles. I was so enthralled by this technique, and though I don't necessarily feel called to put beetles on my own sweater, I think that the idea really is there in the path of customization, right? Adding something, upcycling something that isn't what you want it to be with your own vision, with your own style, and something that you feel really drawn to wearing that represents you, that isn't something you can just buy in a store or at Aritzia. Like, that's really the direction I want to go when it comes to my style evolving over time. Obviously, like right now I'm wearing this plain black mock neck long sleeve shirt, but I see the opportunity for my style to be this as a base layer and then become so much more as I learn to customize these pieces more and more and more, as I learn these techniques and I get confident with them. I do see myself wearing things that you just cannot find in the same way in your regular department store. So I love a department store base layer, but I want to be able to customize and bring it to life. And of course, I'm pretty much, like I said, always looking for like your cotton, your wool, your cashmere, your whatever, to be able to take something from the thrift that is cotton, wool, cashmere, silk, et cetera, and give these natural fibers second lives so they don't end up in the landfill being the quality that they are. We need more of that kind of quality in our clothing again. At the same time, the one sweater that I got at Goodwill today that I want to start this project on is just, I think, like a nylon acrylic blend, whatever. And it doesn't really matter if I fuck that sweater up because it's not like a high quality thing. But anyway, I digress on that one. That's art project number 1. Now, arts and crafts number 2 is akin to decorating clothing or oneself, but it's a little bit different. It's not directly upcycling clothing, but more so adding adornments to it. And I saw this again on Pinterest the other day and I thought, I love this. I don't care if it's a trend that has come and gone. This is so freaking cool. It's chains with clothespins, either clothespins that have safety pins or brooches, really. Brooches that have little dangly jewels, chains, whatever, that people are putting on their lapels, they're putting on their button-up shirts, whether it's like right here on the neck or off to the side. I really like some of the examples that I found on Pinterest. But beyond that, I also have seen, and this again is probably an outdated trend, but I'm really into it and I want to make some of this myself. I have seen these really cool they're just bracelets. It's anklets, bracelets, necklaces, whatever, with people doing it on top of their jeans or on top of their trousers and a cunty little heel. Ugh, I love the look of it. I think it is just so good. The first one that I saw that just made my jaw drop was this one with, I should just continue to put them up here on the screen, but with the shells on it. And this is obviously just a regular necklace that someone put on their ankle. And I don't know how practical this is. I don't know if it's going to fall off. I don't know if it's actually going to stay put where I want it to stay put if I'm not wearing heels, but I'm wearing boots. But I am so down to experiment. And I actually used to make jewelry in middle school. I used to make jewelry. Most of it was friendship bracelets, I admit. Most of it was actually just working with embroidery floss and braiding bracelets. But I did get used to working with jump rings and pliers and using a couple other materials when it came to making some jewelry. Again, I was in middle school. I had an Etsy in middle school and it was really cool, but I wasn't doing anything revolutionary or groundbreaking. I was a middle schooler playing around with making jewelry. I did sell, I think, a total of $500 worth of product over several months. I think I also put that on my college application. So my mom was like, "You owned a small business and you were an entrepreneur." And I said, "Yes, I was. And I am going to tell that to Berkeley." And I got in. It worked. That's project number 2. That one I do not have a lot of the materials for. I do have some beading stashed away somewhere that I was thinking about using in my embroidery projects that I do actually plan to bring to life in some of these art projects. I will bring that beading in, but I'm probably going to be sourcing more and sourcing some specific charms, hopefully through Etsy and places that are not Amazon. I would really, really like to stay as far away from Amazon as I possibly can with a lot of the sourcing of the materials for these projects. But that is number 2, is these brooches / bracelets / whatever. I need to find the one where it's pinning the pant leg together. I have a board called Artistic Inspo. I have a board called Arts and Crafts. And then I have a board called Colburn Collection that is basically a style board for both Zach and I. I love that too. I don't know if I really love a lot of rhinestones on pants. I'm not big on rhinestones. I like beading and I like chains and I like charms, but I'm not as big into rhinestones. But I think that kind of bedazzling outside of the jean holes could be a cool idea. I have a pair of pants that already have that and I would love to play around with that. Same idea here where it's like bedazzled through and around, although I'm not really into the rhinestones itself. I'd like to use maybe something else. Either way, a lot of this inspiration I think is also coming from the Delara Findagoglu. The Delara runway has been really incredible to watch, and I think especially with Margot Robbie right now and the looks that she's bringing that are Delara, 2 different runways. I mean, she's doing not just Delara, she's doing a lot of different looks. This, oh my God, it was such a good pull. Let me find her stylist. Her stylist is Andrew McCamal. I am so new to this fashion world. I really am. It's something that I have kind of watched in my peripheries for my whole life. But John Galliano, 92 John Galliano. Oh my gosh, with the red tights and the bow. It's an unbelievable pull. But all that being said is that recently, especially with the bag that just dropped today, the Hysteria bag, Delara has just been putting out a lot of stuff that I feel so drawn to. I love the way that she does distressing. I love a lot of the colors that she uses. I love a lot of the reds. Obviously the blacks, but it's the reds, the blacks, the beiges. And I love that it is kind of a controlled mess as well. This is like a perfect example. The December 2025 on Naomi Campbell. Chains, right? Yeah. It's chains distressed, chains with fabric woven through them. There's lace, the cherry bodice. This felt revolutionary. This felt really, really revolutionary. Although it wasn't. I don't think that was revolutionary or hadn't been done before, but at the same time, so much of what she's doing in the way that she's working with fabrics and the distressing of it is just, it's so sensual and beautiful without there having to be the perfection of it all. And I think that is probably what I'm drawn to most, especially when it comes to my own exploration of fashion. I like a clean put together look, and at the same time there's not enough tension for me. Like right now I'm wearing just like your most basic fit. I love it. I love this outfit, but it's a wide leg Zara jean with a pointy toe boot and a nice little black mock neck, all silver detailing. My purse is a black leather purse with silver detailing. I'm in all of my silver stuff. And I'm like, if I had like 10 more silver cuff bracelets and a bunch of layered silver jewelry, this would be even better. And that's what I'm thinking. It's like, okay, you give yourself this base layer and then you just build upon it. You accessorize, you go until you stop making sense to the average person. That is what I want in these like art projects that I'm planning on doing. I want to create clothing for myself or just a style for myself that I feel like it goes beyond what most people understand. And I don't care if it's cringe. I don't care if it's been done before. I don't need to be, again, revolutionary or unique in the sense that like I'm the first one and only one to ever do it, but I want to explore it for myself because I never have. And I want there to be those blurred lines between this beautiful, crisp button-up shirt and then the tears in it, or the loose threads, or the layers of distressed lace, and then the beading, and then the this, and then that, and the, yeah. So, hope that's making sense in some capacity. Third thing that I want to do, well, we're going to call all of these things arts and crafts, even though they're not necessarily all arts and crafts. But the third thing that I want to do is I do want to paint this room again. Unfortunately, we moved in. It was this really dark navy gray that wasn't really doing it for me. And then I painted half of it white because that was what we found in the garage. That was just kind of sitting here in the garage. And then I was going for this kind of fairies in the forest, enchanted cottage in the bottom of a tree type feel, where I have this green and then I have a lot of the kind of orangey-ish or brown. My bookshelf and my desk, I'll show you, are more of that like oak, right? Like the oak wood. I want to strip both of those down and give them a nice dark stain. This is dark enough for me. I think I'm just going to leave that what it is. And I don't necessarily know if I want to go like cream, but like a creamy white that just serves to be a nice contrast to a dark furniture look. It is not meant to be beige and boring though. It's definitely not meant to be like this just kind of like, that's really what I'm trying to avoid here. Even when I go the direction of neutrals or blacks or grays or whatever, I don't want to ever make anything feel as though it's just like boring and clean girl. I'm never going for clean girl. That's never the intention. That's never my goal. Because it's never going to be accomplished by me. And I think that is something that was built into my genetic code. Because when I think clean girl, I think of the girl that looks absolutely fantastic when she does a slick back bun and just scrapes her hair to her head. And when I say that is just not genetically there for me, I've always had this like really deep hairline. I know you can see it. And I know it is one of those insecurities that doesn't actually matter, but that's just my hairline. It's always been that way. Hair has just never really grown right there. And when I do a slick back, and I've seen myself, when I used to try to do that slick back look, I've seen myself in photos, And I've never liked that. I've never had the hairline of my dreams. And so that is why I know it has not ever been my destiny to do the clean girl look. There has to be something more. There has to be a point of tension or mess or whatever. And so I'm trying to go for this kind of sure whatever, like white creamy base color in here, but it's so that I can bring some darkness and some drama and some romance into the room as well. So that's that on that. And then my mic died and I recorded the last like 3 to 5 minutes of this with no sound. So I just wanted to say, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. And please feel free to comment any of the art projects you're working on or any suggestions or anything that you'd like to see me do, because I love to hear from you.